Okay, we good? Our mic's good. All right, bet. Um, so today is technically Thursday, but it's like 12:52 a.m. So like my Wednesday day hasn't ended yet. So I'll say that I'm not late. I am sort of late. I was supposed to do this a lot earlier, but so I'll tell you about my day. Right, I basically played 2K the whole day, dude. Um, yeah, 2K20. I was playing my league. Playing, it's like I was just simulating, playing games and like running plays. And man, I'll tell you what, my brain, my brain was really off. Like it was just turned off today. It was like I was not aware of anything. Just didn't do none, you know. But I'll tell you what, I did wake up. I I ran for a little bit, did some sprints, and I took a cold shower. So I, I sort of did things. Like it wasn't just that, it's kind of a good idea that I did work out first, because now I'm really thinking about it. Like, um, now that I'm really thinking about it, um, I also did some reading a little bit, but now that I'm thinking about it, it's good that I did it before I sort of played video games, because sometimes, and I'll talk about this later, but sometimes when I play video games, I just end up playing for hours, man. Like where my mind is sort of just turned off, and where my mind is. Oh my god, why is that so loud? I didn't realize how loud this fan is. But yeah, I don't realize how loud this fan is, but yeah, whatever. Um, but yeah, so I get in these gaming sessions where my mind is completely just focused on the game. Like it's so distracted by the game. Like it's so captivated by the game that my brain is just gone. It's like gone. It's just I'm on front of the screen like a mindless zombie. Now it depends on the game. It's not like every game I play I do that. But games like simulation games where it doesn't end, like there's not really any pauses in between, like where so even so let's say Counter Strike versus um Civilization is a sort of real-time strategy, not a real-time strategy, it's a strategy turn-based game where it's always going and there's always something to do, there's always something that my mind could be distracted or but that my brain could be focused on, as opposed to what the example I used. What was the example I used? Counter Strike? Okay, so Counter Strike, it's like a 5v5 game and it's usually in matches, right? Now the difference is there's a match, and after the match there's that like whatever minute where I'm not in a match, where I'm not really focused, and there's also warm up. There's basically like a good 2 to 3 minutes where my mind isn't turned off, and I'm sort of like I could catch myself. I'd be like, oh, it's been like 7 hours that I just sat here doing nothing, right? As opposed to a simulation game, a strategy game, something where my mind is constantly thinking. So that's what happened today. I was literally just playing all day, man. It was so bad. And I can't even blame it on the game. I think there are a few seconds where I could catch myself, but the game itself was just so addicting, I guess. And like, so I was playing 2K, and basically I simulate being a leader of a team, like managing a NBA team, and I try to get an NBA championship. I can play the games, I can just simulate the games, and I'm gonna be honest, I was losing a lot, and I was frustrated because I felt like the losses were really bullcrap. Like some of the games that I should not have lost, but whatever, whatever. I'm just salty. Okay. Um, okay. So the basis is, I really. Oh my god, it's like one game I know that after a while it make me feel like shit, but I still keep playing it. Like it's addicting to that point. It gets really. I don't know, man. Like I listen to some Twitch streams, some podcasts or whatever, but even then my brain is still turned off, right? Like it literally, I kept procrastinating this until whatever. Like literally, I think it was the only thing I had to do today. So um yeah, I mean I'm very I'm not gonna lie, I'm very mad at myself right now. So anyway, yeah, I could definitely see how much more productive shit I could have done today. Oh my god, man, that is horrible. Just thinking about it, like, just man, not a good look for me. I'll be honest. Definitely not a good look on me, for me. Um, could have definitely done not even like productive things. Like I could have done more fun things that could have been more productive or whatever. Like I could have played a couple matches of Rainbow Siege. I doubt I'd be playing Siege like for 7 hours, but I'd still have fun for the time that I was playing. The problem with these types of games is I have fun. The problems that I have with the type of games that turn my brain off, or not turn my brain off, but just distract the hell out of my brain. The problem I have with these is I have fun for the first couple of hours. I have fun for the first couple of hours, but the rest, like it could go on for 3, 5, 7 hours, where sort of my I'm not even having fun anymore. Like I'm not having a necessarily bad time, but my brain's turned off. Like I'm not even there, you know. It's just mindless brain processing, and I'm not even actually sort of realizing anything. So it's very I'll be honest, not the best time. Not the best time. So yeah, I'm disappointed in myself in that regard. I don't know, man. No, yeah, I'm very disappointed. But it happens. I have days like this, you know. But I guess I should just realize that it wasn't even all that bad. At least I didn't start off, and I did do some good things today, and I guess some of that is a win. But I mean, what could I do? I can't just like keep hating and keep being mad at myself. All I can say is, you goddamn idiot. Whatever, just go work out tomorrow or something. You know, like just live your day tomorrow. It's be fine. Today was a mistake. Today is something to, you know, is an example of what is today is an example of a day that I don't want, you know, and it's not necessarily difficult to not have this day. Like, man, I could have played better games, bro. Like that's like, I'm not even mad at myself for sitting down and playing games for like a whole night. That's not what I'm mad about. I'm mad about playing fucking 2K, man. Like it's not even that fun, dude. It's half of it is like bull crap shit, whatever, dude. I don't know, it's just really toxic to me. I'm so mad. Alright. So that's that. Um Well, okay, so we'll get off that. We'll get off me and my family. I had something on my mind. I um I had something on my mind, and that is okay. So I've had something on my mind the past couple nights, I'd say, a couple days, where I sort of get very in my head. Um, I have arguments. So sometimes I have these days where I realize something about a past argument, and I realize about like or let's okay let's restart. Sometimes I have new realizations in the strong opinions that I have. I sort of okay, fine. I guess an example would be a good way to explain this. Like for example, the pro-life, pro-choice, abortion type argument. I was always I was very adamant on the whole pro-life thing. Like I still okay. So before I was just pro-life, pro-life, pro-life. Like you should not kill a baby, it's wrong, but whatever. Like I've had this opinion when I was 15, 16, whatever, when I was younger. Still I'm sort of young obviously, but I've recently changed in some of my opinions. That not necessarily that I'm pro-choice. I'm sort of both. I'm sort of both. So my not that okay, and I should preface this by saying I'm a male. I don't think my opinions necessarily matter in this case. Um, so I'd never have to carry or have the burden of carrying a child, I guess. I'd also like to say that as far as I know, I don't know anyone close to me or anyone that I care about that have had to deal with this experience. I've also had this in my head. So yeah, so so for some reason I think it was late at night. I was trying to go to bed, and I was like almost updating past opinions. Like I was trying to. So I made those two prefixes like where I'm a male. I don't know anyone that's had this problem before, and I'm a bit of both pro life and pro choice. Now, how does that make sense? Well, I think that if carrying the burden or carrying carrying the burden of a child, if that responsibility or if that burden was imposed upon you against your own will, then I think it should be not morally, it should be okay for you to abort that child. If you had not taken a conscious decision to have a child, obviously, most, I meant, like basically if you're raped, yeah, that would be a case. I'd use that example. So basically, if you're raped and then you were carrying the child of your rapist, then in that case, I would obviously, in my opinion, that should be allowed for abortion. But I'm also pro-life in the sense that life is sacred to me, and that I think, uh, I think morally it is not okay to abort a child. I think that you should carry the responsibility and carry the burden if you took the steps into conception. If you took the steps towards conception, like if you had sex without maybe protection, obviously sometimes protection fails, but if you took sex knowingly that even there was the slightest risk of that you might have to carry a child, I think you should carry the responsibility, because that is a consequence that you should know. Now, with that being said, I think at the end of the day, well, this is how I see this. It's hard for me. I don't know. Look, I place life at a sort of high level, obviously high priority. But I think the freedom to abort a baby. No, I think there's always no. See, I'll just admit it. I don't think I know enough about people's situations or what the ramifications of not being able to abort your child. It's just my belief that aborting a child is sort of taking away a life, because I hold that sort of aborted baby's life in high regard in terms of potential, because because a because that potential baby could have a potential human life filled with unique human experiences. They'll have a unique childhood, unique like teenage years, unique, like it's a very human life, the human experience in general is a very special thing, and it's a very rare thing. I mean, like, who knows what that child could have been? Who knows who that child could have been? Who knows, man? And I think taking away that opportunity, taking away that potentiality in it, to me is just fundamentally, morally, doesn't sit with me right. It doesn't sit with me. Like, it doesn't sit with me well, I mean. Because, yeah, I don't know. See, this is very hard for me because on one end, I think there are obviously cases, but I don't know. I try to stay in the middle for this, but I think it's impossible because it's literally a matter of should abortion be legal or not. I think in certain cases it should be. And obviously, okay, I live in some fantasy world apparently. Okay, so this is how I would do it, which, by the way, doesn't matter because obviously I don't think my opinion here does because I've never had to. Anyway, I with the prefixes. Anyway, in my perfect world, abortion should be illegal, except for the cases unless there is sufficient evidence that provides unless there's sufficient evidence that parties involved did not make a conscious decision towards conception. Does that make sense? Like, obviously, like in the cases of rape and like, I guess if okay, yeah, I'll stick with that. Cause I'm gonna be honest, like I don't think my idea around this is perfectly formulated, and if it was in an argument, I don't know if I could hold well with that. Man, that is so difficult, dude. Yeah, it is really difficult. Um, um, but yeah, it's pretty difficult for me to formulate my opinions on that. Anyway, that wasn't even the whole point of this. Anyway, that was just supposed to be an example. The reason why I'm talking about this is because I have arguments in my head, and I play them out constantly. Like every time I have some sort of realization, or I think I have some good argument, I have I fantasize about arguing it with a certain someone, and then fantasize about me just completely changing people's minds, or completely like coming up with realizations, when in fact, when in actuality, some of my ideas aren't even well formulated. I don't fully know, and sometimes differences in opinion are just fundamentally different because of not logic, but in terms of maybe different experiences, different ways of thinking, different beliefs, even. Like, there's a lot of ways why, opinions uh, could be different. Like, could be in a disagreement. Not everything is objective, right? If anything, a lot of opinions are very subjective. Um, so I definitely think there's something with my ego, but there's also, I think a part of it is my ego, like, that's like a part of it is sort of scratching the itch for my ego, that that itch to be right, to be morally more intelligent, morally more, just, I don't know, it's that ego thing, you know me having formulated arguments or opinions and winning my fantasized arguments in my own head feeds my ego in some sort of way, and it sort of makes sense. Obviously, it implies that I'm more intelligent than the people, because in reality, like, I fantasize about having all these arguments, and I go off and you know do so well in my articulation that I change people's minds, but um that I do so well in my that I change people's minds. Anyway, what was it talking about? Anyway, so in my head, I imagine me doing so well, but in reality, I think, honestly, if I'm being honest to myself, I think I would crumble. I think, first of all, I would be way more. What's the opposite of assertive? Hey Google, what is the opposite of assertive? Agreeable. I think I'd be way more agreeable on the outside, on the external. Anyway, a part of me also feels like, before, in my earlier years, I've taken stances and opinions that weren't well formulated and that weren't well thought out. I sort of took the ideas and the ideology of people I admire without even questioning it. I sort of just assumed, oh, I like this person, he has this opinion. that must be a good way to have an opinion. You know, like I sort of had that sort of thing going. Like I didn't really formulate my own opinions. I sort of based them on people that I liked or admired or looked up to, you know? And I sort of just absorbed opinions without formulating thought. So yeah, I think politics, arguments, all those kind of things where a lot of things are very subjective. There's a lot of arguments, a lot of, you know, generally, as much as I want to get into debates, arguments, and as much as my ego would love that, as much as my ego would love opportunities for me to show off my morally intellectual abilities, as much as my ego would like that, I just don't think it is entirely healthy for me, or even entirely plausible for me. So, okay, what's the whole point of me talking about this? Well, first off, it was bothering me for a little while. It was not bothering me, but it was occupying a lot of space in my head. I'm not gonna lie, and I think a part of me also, yeah, again, it part of it is ego, and the other part is me just sort of not catching up, but almost redeeming myself from not having well formulated opinions. Like I think now, I want to try and have more formulated opinions, and I want to question the sort of opinions, the existing opinions that I have, and question on them. And but I think my mind turns it into fantasized arguments with like with people in my life. Like, the truth is, I think a lot more people are like me, and like it's very common to not have very well formulated opinions, and we sort of just absorb the opinions of people that we look up to without questioning it, and I guess that's normal. But I think it's also good to question it. So I'll try to take more steps towards that, as I think it's really important. I should take some melatonin. I want to go to bed tonight. So yeah, no, I just wasted. I think I just wasted one. Anyway, so yeah, that's why I think it's been occupying that for a while. But also I think also I think the human perspective. Anyway, the human perspective. I wrote down an idea that was bothering me. I had something I was really passionate about. I just go off on these tangents and these like sessions where I'm constantly just boggled by an idea in my head. Something that would be good for a YouTube video, something good to talk about, something an idea to explore. And for some reason, the idea was the human perspective. I don't even know what that means. What is the human perspective? Oh God, that bothers me. That really bothers me. I sort of just wrote down an idea 2 days ago. And I don't know what, well, one day ago, whatever, yesterday. And I don't know what it was. Wow, that is incredibly dumb. Okay, next time I'm passionate about something and next time I have some really good ideas, I should write them down instead of them just clouding my mind for 2 hours and then completely forgetting it the next day. Oh god, that sucks, dude. But yeah, hold on, give me a minute. I think trying to force it into my head is not a good idea. Yeah? Human perspective. Wow, that is crazy. How I'm not remembering this. Okay. Also, fuck. I don't know. Anyway, I was playing with someone yesterday, and there was news that just came out that Elon Musk surpassed Jeff Bezos, and I don't think this was the idea that I had. By the way, it was just something that was also on my mind. That Elon Musk just passed Jeff Bezos, and yeah. So I was sort of talking about it to a friend, and this friend was sort of like, this is how I interpreted it. This is not how it was. This is how I interpreted it, and this is how it was to me. I'm not saying that was what happened. So yeah, everything here is completely up to what how I experienced it. How I experienced it was that the person they sort of said, I don't really care about Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, and I always kind of knew they had this sort of dislike dislike this sort of inclination to, I don't know if it was hate. I can't really know because I'm not that person, but it seemed to me that they sort of hate rich people, right? And in that moment, I sort of almost wanted to argue. Like I really wanted to argue, and it sort of like almost pissed me off in a way. And the reason why is not that I advocate for the rich and I say that they're necessarily the best people in the world and that I should love them or whatever, but that's not the case. The case is that it seems to me that there are a lot of bitter people. They're bitter about the rich, you know. And I'm not necessarily talking about my friend here. I think I'm talking it because it's a common idea. It's a common thing. I think a lot of people are bitter about success in other people. And I think that idea of hating rich people, the reason why I got so pissed, the reason why I sort of almost got fired up. Not I wasn't like super pissed. Never mind. I'm always exaggerating for no reason. But it's not like I was super pissed. I was sort of just, I was fired up. Let's say I was fired up by the idea because I was having these mini. I was fantasizing an argument to this other person while playing a game with them. So it, yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's why I sort of like want to understand it, right? Because that is just not. I don't think it doesn't. That doesn't sound right. But anyway, I was having this sort of argument. Like I almost had this idea, and it's so fucking shit, man. I, I hate that I'm even thinking about it. All the people, I almost want to say all the people, all the haters of all rich people, all of them combined probably don't even contribute to society as much as the person they're hating on. Fuck. Like, I mean, sorry. Let me rephrase this. It seems to me the people hating on rich people have their hate placed in the wrong area, if that makes sense. Like, because as far as I'm concerned, the rich people that obviously aren't perfect are flawed just as like everyone else. Um, contribute to society more than almost us normal people, and it sucks to say that because like everyone's special in their own way. Like obviously I say that in a corny way, but I genuinely I believe that. I believe that everyone has something to contribute to society in some form, in some way. But anyway, I was fired up because even if let's say let's take an example. I also think okay. I also think I was fired up because Elon Musk is one of my role models. Um, and he was almost like he was almost getting hate. He was getting hate just for the fact that he was rich. And that sort of fired me up because I held him in high regard. Obviously, I don't really know much about him, and you know, but I generally held him in high regard, and I was sort of proud in a way. I'm even now I'm sort of fantasizing an argument to defend him. Um, I generally think Elon Musk is not even that bad of a guy. I think how he gained his wealth, how he became the richest man in the world, he didn't even sort of like take away from people, if that makes sense. He didn't manipulate anyone. He didn't. People just kind of bought his stock and he just got super rich. But and he genuinely does contribute to society a lot. He contributes to a lot of human progression, human society, and just generally, I think that I'm just glad that it was a smart person that got rich and it wasn't some bum like me, right? Because as far as I'm concerned, rich people still do contribute to society. Even if they were sort of corrupt. Even let's assume Jeff Bezos is some mean, rude guy, and let's assume he doesn't really care about humanity, and his only goal is to let's his only goal is to get the most money in the shortest amount of time possible. Let's just assume he is the worst scumbag of scumbags, right? Well, let's see how he contributes to society. He contributes to society in a couple of ways. One being jobs. He gives jobs to people, even though they're not necessarily the best jobs and not the best working conditions. It's still he still gives out like there's because of his actions, there are now jobs for people to earn a salary from. Not the best salary, not the best working conditions, but it's much better than working or than being on the street. All right, so there's that. There's also the circulation of economy. Since Amazon is such a big company, sorry, I'm talking like an egotistical motherfucker now. I'm getting in that mood. It's good to realize. But yeah. Um, since a lot of people use Amazon on a daily day basis, obviously it offers people convenience. Um, for example, let's just assume, I don't know, that a stay-at-home mother can't, with like 3 kids, can't really go out to do shopping, and so they have to buy some diapers online. It comes the next day, everything's good. Um, Same for old people that can't really go out to shop anymore, can't really drive. Hey, there you go. Their daughters or their sons can buy them some stuff. Generally, that is a good thing. It not only supports the customers, it also supports the sellers. Amazon generally, as scummy as they are sometimes, it allows for small businesses to sell their stuff on a big platform, and I think that's very important. I think that's very important for small businesses, and I think generally, even though, so let's, okay, for this example, let's assume Jeff Bezos is the worst human being possible. Even though his intent, let's say his intent is to gain the most money possible in the shortest amount of time, so he gets all this money, but in getting that money, he has created thousands and thousands and thousands of new jobs, and has also sort of revolutionized the way people shop, and obviously has helped a lot in terms of COVID. Now, there's also there's also that case that a lot of people make, that why not just share the wealth? I think fundamentally, if everyone had the same income, it wouldn't work. Obviously, that's sort of basic, well, whatever. But anyway, it is my idea that, oh, the human perspective. That's what it was. Oh, I'm so glad I started talking about this. Oh my god. I just made a realization. Anyway, the human perspective is about how it seems like the world is so shit right now, and there's all these problems and things to get better at. In general, life today is much, much better than the past. Okay, that's that. With history, life in the past wasn't so great. But yeah, that is something I really want to talk about. But anyway, but yeah, that's something I've always sort of had an idea for, and I really want to explore it in a video or something. But I also gotta finish my old one, the one about being alone. The one I sort of wrote up a while ago. So I I wonder. I sort of want to get it done. I'll be honest, but yeah. Anyway, so there's that.
Yo,
Yeah.
look at what I ordered. This is madness.
What you order?
This is madness, bro.
Oh, you're in it, bro.
I'm in it.
He's in it. Buys one high-end graphics card. He's in it, dude. Oh Lord. This is good though. This is good. Nice. Yeah, my bro just bought like a shit ton of computer parts. Pog. Nice. Anyway, what was I talking about? Anyway. But yeah. Oh, I completely got off sidetracked, didn't I? I completely got sidetracked. I was talking about having fantasized arguments, and I talked about that, and I was also talking about like arguments against in support of rich people. No, I'm not claiming to be an expert, but from what I know, this is, yeah, that's what I'm fantasizing about arguments right now. The argument I was fantasizing about is even though I'm not an expert on economics or whatever, from my basic knowledge of it, it seems to me that rich people do way more for society than the people hating on them. It's a strong, bold take, but yeah, that is what I'm assuming. Oh man, this is all sort of fucked, dude. But yeah, cool, cool. Wow, I have been talking for 46 minutes. I didn't even realize. But yeah, wow, I think I really needed this. It's sort of, yeah. No. I think it's good to have this also. Just articulate my ideas. I made a couple of realizations today. Realization number one is that some of my arguments are actually not even that well formulated. Um, Realization number two is that a lot of it is, like, a part of it is, I think, not a lot of it, but a majority of it is partly ego driven. And genuinely, I don't think I can blame myself, because I do get very passionate. I'm just a very passionate person, and I don't think I should apologize to anyone for that. I'm not really bothering anyone, and I'm not really using that passion to hurt anyone. Um, so yeah. What else? I guess my fear is that the reason why I sort of don't even argue and I fantasize about it instead is because I sort of, part of me doesn't want to lose friendships over it, because the world is already so divided, in my opinion, and I don't know. I feel like there is a need to sort of express the way I feel about things. I know that for sure, because I think a lot of people feel very strongly about certain things. Opinions are very strong opinions, but I think, I don't know, I feel like I could express it in a way without having to get in a heated debate about it, right? There's definitely ways to talk about it, whether that be with people that do want to talk about it. I shouldn't force. Okay, yeah. I'm thinking about this, and in the case of my friend, I don't know if he was, or if they were having a good day or not having a good day, but I get the sense that they didn't even generally want to talk about it. They just sort of just wanted to play the game. They were there to play the game, and they didn't really want to talk about that, the rich people argument or whatever debate. I get that sense, and I think oh, obviously a part of the reason is because I'm a little bitch, and I feel like really won't do well in an argument. But the other part of me is, I got the sense that they don't really want to talk about it. So I think arguments are okay, and debates are okay too, and especially if you have strong political opinions. I think especially in the case of friends, I shouldn't force it upon other people. Like, if they want to have a discussion about it, sure, I'd be willing to have a discussion about it. So yeah. But yeah, if I don't sort of express my strong opinions, strong passion for things like in that way, then I should find a different avenue. And one of those avenues could be my my YouTube videos. I think, like, just genuinely, like, even here I could express them here. I could express them in well formulated videos, the human perspective, things like that. And like, sort of just try things out over there. And I think that'd be really good. Yeah. Yeah. I want to explore it there. I'll try. Yeah. I guess that makes me more optimistic. It does. Oh, I also learned a bunch about anxiety. Well, not a bunch, but a little bit more now than before. More about anxiety today, which was fun, cool. In that exercise book you see over there, currently using my knife as a my butterfly knife as a as a bookmark. Cool. But yeah. Well, anyway, it's been a long one. I don't want to drag this out. I doubt like it's a long one, dude. I don't even know what today was about. Today was about me wasting time. Being a mindless zombie. What else? The three things I talked about today. Being a mindless zombie. Fantasizing about arguments. Pretty much it. Just rambling. Just telling. Anyway, but this was fun. This was definitely something that I needed. Definitely something that I not needed necessarily, but it definitely does help. Also good to do it before nighttime. I don't know, maybe not actually, but yeah, in a way, I could talk about a lot, and sort of not judge myself, sort of just think, but also, I also do, like, it's a good limitation. The limitation being that I get to talk about things, but in a very not like I still ramble and I still sort of explore ideas without full articulation, but sort of saying things out loud. It makes me realize things like when you think something in your head and you think it sounds pretty good, and then when you say it out loud, it's actually sounds like nonsense. So yeah, that sort of thing. Like, I have ideas in my head. I say them out loud. I realize, hey, this might be good, or maybe that wasn't so good. Like, I make more realizations saying it out loud, I think, and it's a good way to explore ideas. Cause just I think, I don't know if it has something to do with the processing, like the process of turning your ideas, turning your thoughts into written form or even articulated like voice. I think there's an area in your brain. Obviously, this is all just guesswork. I don't actually know. I think there's a certain process in the way the brain works, in which, in order to turn it into words in terms of written, and also saying it out loud, there has to be extra processing on that certain topic or certain information, right? Like, you're almost converting from one file type to another. Okay, no, that sounds stupid. Never mind. See, that's what I mean. But yeah, I'm glad. Like, anyway, I'm gonna work out tomorrow. I'm thinking Beat Saber. I was just watching a Twitch stream today, and the Twitch streamer was talking about how he just logged in like he burns like basically 800 calories per extra day. Just fucking Beat Saber, man. It's fun. It's like, you know. So yeah, I should get on that, man. I should get on some Beat Saber tomorrow. Fuck yeah, dude. I love me some Beat Sabers. But yeah, I'll get on that. It'll be fun. It'll be Pog. We be Gooch. Be Gucci. We Gucci. We good. But yeah, anyway, I'll stop it there. Very good. Before we reach an hour. No, I don't want to reach an hour. But yeah, today has been January 14, 2021. 1:47 a.m. Yikes. But yeah, after this, I should probably get back to bed. Wake up. Start a new day. Not do the same day I had today. Obviously, I'll do the first, get the productive stuff in. It's not like I won't have fun. I'll have fun tomorrow. Just not be a mindless zombie playing some game I don't even like. God. Anyway, but yeah, I'll see what's up. I'll see y'all. I'm acting like this is something like a lot of people watch. They don't. This is literally just me. For now. I don't know. What if I die early? Who knows? Who knows, dude? Wow, that got morbid. Anyway. It doesn't matter. It's just me watching, I think. Well, it could be other people. I doubt it. I don't want it to be other people. But just in case it is other men's. Good night, I guess. Have a good day. I don't know. But I'll try to have a good night. It'll be nice. I'm sort of getting hyped up, which is not a good thing. I should not be hyped up right now. I should be because it's time for bed. But yeah. Hey Google, lights to orange. It's time. Sure. But yeah, I'll till next time.